All right, all right. So we are trying something little new that we're working on together here as a curriculum team. We'd like to welcome you to our professional learning center. I think you've seen some of these floating around Twitter. Virtual classrooms or virtual learning center that we have going on here, and we're going to be rolling out a collaborative type of room and space. But this is more of our concept type setup here, and it's pretty fun. So yeah, definitely jump on Twitter and see what you can see. We'll be sharing the links on how you can create your own virtual classroom as well, with hyperlinks and things that you can students can click on and go to and be a part of and see as well right inside of your virtual classroom. So this can be used definitely in this fall as well. Send out to your parents before school starts if you're wanting them to get a look and a taste and feel of your classroom before you go. And I know Colette shared earlier this weekend about virtual libraries in your classrooms as well. So it's a pretty cool deal. So like I said, we'll be sharing all that information out to you as well. So today's agenda, we're going to be talking about brainstorming with colleagues, and because we're coming up to the end, people, 2 weeks. That's right, 2 weeks left. And so what that means is that those culminating type project, type fun type things that you can do at the end of the school year. So together, we will help each other out, kind of come up with some of those ideas and things, and even share what it is that you're doing in your classroom. I know some teachers have been planning already and already have a couple of ideas in mind that they're doing with their colleagues and with their students. So we would love to hear some of those ideas, and maybe we can kind of build off each other as we go. And also remember, since the devices will be picked up Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of that last week, 19th through 22nd, maybe even think of some low tech to no tech type projects that your students can do as well, to be able to share some of the things going on during this learning experience and COVID-19 and things like that, and during our next steps. Another thing that we're going to share, let me go back. Sorry about that. I want to share real quick is we'll be sending this link out here shortly too as well. Like I said, this is a work in progress. Sharing this slide here. So you will see and be available to some of our more recent videos that you can get hold of too. The mobile creation with Adobe Spark. I know at the end of the year, putting together all of your videos and stuff that you're creating that you want to do for your kids, maybe some type of end of the year class project, class picture, whatever it is that you want to send out to your students, to your parents, just to let them know, kind of reminisce over the school year. You also have the video creating a slideshow, and then of course the Jamboard suites. And like I said, this is an interactive flowing website that we'll be sending out here that you will be able to see, and it'll be updated as we go throughout the summer and throughout the year. Over here on the right, you'll see the Integration Summit. Integration Summit that will be coming out on June 15th. It will be a virtual summit, so make sure you save the date. We'll be having a guest speaker that's going to be there as well, and we'll definitely be having and Colette, help me out here, Tisha and Deborah from what school district was Carolina?
Yes, so Tisha Poncio, so more of what they do on the side than where they are currently. But Tisha Poncio and Deb Zeman came last time, so they're ambassadors for Flipgrid, and Deb is an ambassador for Wakelet, and so they work with those two organizations, people at the top and development and everything. And so they were super fun last year if you were there, and I know we learned a lot from them, and so they're super excited and passionate. They're excited that we are planning to do it virtually. Other school districts in the North Texas area just canceled anything that they were planning to have, so they're super excited to participate with us virtually. And we're in talks about some of those things will be where you can participate virtual at different times during the day, and then other things will be where you can watch some videos ahead of time in order to earn full credit for the day, so you don't feel like you have to be sitting in front of the computer virtually participating the whole entire day. You'll have some choices and a choice board to be able to participate. But we're excited about a keynote too that Willie and I are working on.
All right. So we hope to see all of you there during this virtual summit. So like I said, really, really fun, really exciting experience that we're about to jump into. So you're all used to being able to learn virtually anyway. So, hey, this is just an extension, just another opportunity for you to gain those skills to be used in the fall. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to jump it off real quick. Let's start with some teachers who already have some ideas and some things that you're going to be doing in for your end of the year virtual like projects and things like that you have going on with your kids. Fun ways.
So I found a digital memory book, kind of like we've done in the past, but it can also be printed if they don't have digital access, for them to just document this time of 5th grade and the COVID-19, how that was at home, distance learning. I've created mixtapes of all their flip grids they've done all year long. So every flip grid they've created the entire year, I've put into a mixtape, and I plan on printing out those QR codes so that I can send those home to the kids and their parents as well.
Fun ways.
So I found a digital memory book, kind of like we've done in the past, but it can also be printed if they don't have digital access, for them to just document this time of 5th grade and the COVID-19, how that was at home, distance learning. I've created mixtapes of all their flip grids they've done all year long. So every flip grid they've created the entire year, I've put into a mixtape, and I plan on printing out those QR codes so that I can send those home to the kids and their parents as well.
Hey, Willie, you're muted.
Well, what was that further? The photo book?
Yeah, it was a digital memory book. So it's
memory
just
book.
Document their year up all year long, but then it has a lot of stuff that kind of has to do with the time of distance learning, how they've been doing that at home. So they can just kind of create like what do you call it, like a time capsule-ish, to remember this time.
So what are you going to have them use?
Well, I'm going to upload it in Schoology, but it can also be printed as well. So if they don't have access to, online, or they don't, they don't have a Chromebook or internet access.
Okay. That was a big one. Like, I mean, those are really good ideas. Just definitely want to know how those things. Some teachers are kind of like, oh man, that's great, but how does that work? Like, what are some of the things? I like that. I like that it can be done both digitally and non-digitally too as well. All right, who else?
So, Willie, most of our kids at the high school are spending their time on Netflix anyway, so I want to give them something worthwhile to watch. As freshmen with this group, we studied David Koresh and his powerful methods of persuasion. And then as sophomores, we read Educated. Tara Westover's father, they lived in rural Idaho, and he very much emulated and idolized Randy Weaver. And so there's a documentary on Netflix called Oklahoma City, and it does a really good job of kind of tying all of those events together and explaining how one was a domino falling for the other. And so I really want to challenge them to take that in and really understand the scope of how it changed our nation's history. So hopefully they will partake in that, because I know they're looking for new things to watch on Netflix.
I like that, and I know that we talking about that Waco that just came out on Netflix. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the power of persuasion that man has, and for those kids to be able to analyze that. I mean, that dude could change the minds of anybody. I mean, wealthy. Just.
Even doing like, I wrote down some different ideas that come to my mind, either from when I was in the classroom or just different things that I've seen. But even like one day having a family reading time could be something they could do that day. That could be, their assignment, read a book together as a family, or prepare a meal together as a family, or like do jumping jacks and say your multiplication facts. And then I was wondering, like, compliments and kindness. So we used to always vote in our classroom and stuff and give compliments and stuff like that to each other. And so You could do a Google form for that, and then you could share those out. Or I'm sure somebody has another neat way that they could do that as well. But then that way students could still give compliments and stuff to their classmates. Because I know we used to always do stuff like that at the end of the year.
To kind of piggyback on what she said, fourth grade, we're doing that last week, we're doing just like a choice board. So each day they get to just choose one activity, and there's math in there, science in there, reading, so they can help make dinner or help determine how much laundry detergent to put in, that type of thing. So it's not academic, it's more fun, but it's still, I guess, connected and doing something that's they're proud of, and kind of like they get to choose. So putting them in ownership. So same type of thing that Colette was talking about, but kind of has some different science and subjects to choose from.
I like all the real world skills and then the family involvement that y'all are doing with them. Because as we know, family has been a big part of this whole situation that we were going in, and counting on them to be able to teach their students or our students, their children, definitely being able to find ways to get them involved. I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty huge.
I thought I could work on cooking as well that week,
If you could send that one to Maya, I know she's not in your class anymore, the cooking part, we can definitely do that one.
Hey, some of these fourth graders already have. They've taught me recipes, and I'm like, yeah, I knew how to do that. No, I didn't.
Hey, James put in the chat too about Go Noodle and stuff they've been doing. And then there was this one going around, I don't know how to make it work, but where they were playing the game with the bird with the push-ups. Has anybody seen that? Like they have to go up and down to keep the bird from hitting the little tube things, the birdie game, but you have to do it virtually with push-ups. That would be pretty funny to do with your family and see like who could get the most points.
One thing I've always done, and I'm going to continue to do it this year, is I have the kids go through and list positive traits of their classmates. So the things they see in them throughout the year. And I give them a list of like 50 things. So they're not all using kind, because that's what they want to use. And then they don't know what it's for, but then I take it and I use my word art, and I put it all in for each student with their name and the date. And then I make it, this year I'm making it in the shape of a rocket. And so I'm going to print that out, and I will send it to them digitally, but I think I'm going to send it to them in the mail as well. So they have like a keepsake for the year. And that's what I think I'm going to put the QR code for their Flipgrid on the back of that. And then I've also created a wee video of all of our photos from the year. And I'm going to put, I think, a QR code for that as well on the back. So it's kind of all in one place. But I think it's really good, especially for those kind of quiet kids that maybe aren't as outgoing or as much of an extrovert as some of the others, and they don't feel like maybe they have as many friends as they really do, or they don't think of those positive words for themselves. But when they see their classmates, oh, wow, they think I'm this type of person. It really does make a difference for the kids, I think.
Mm-hmm. I like all ideas so far have been extremely inclusive to every child, and so high or low. And I think that's huge, and that plays on their skill levels as well. So that's really good, really smart that y'all are doing that. I see Anne-Marie has in the chat a virtual field trip or class field trip to Disney. Okay, so have you checked that out yet? What does that look like?
I just found it last night on a Facebook group and opened it up this morning. This teacher has made a Google Slides of like the steps to like getting into Disney. And so it has the I don't know, I've never been to Disney, so I don't know how to explain it, but like the through part, and then where there's a video that she has of checking in and like getting your badge kind of thing. And then she has a schedule, and then you go through virtual rides, like the ones that you could use on the VR headsets, but then they're just like YouTube rides. They're not VR headset rides. And then in between some of them, she has some questions. Like I just clicked through the first couple, and there was like an elapsed time question. If we waited in line from 9:15 to 10:30, how long did we wait? Just that dropped in there. I just thought it was something cool and different. I hadn't seen anybody else do that. And the way that she compiled it all together into Google Slides was kind of neat too.
I love that. And we're bringing those different content areas, math, history when it comes to maybe even maybe some of the famous people who have been and visited Disney, things like that, be able to look at those landmarks and things that are in there. I mean, I think that's pretty neat. Huh.
We did make the Disney recipe for churros at home a few weeks ago. Posted it. Rylan loved that. You could add that in there too, Anne Marie, if you wanted to. We could make Rylan do a demonstration video again. She'd be happy with me for that.
So each week she's been doing, I think one week they had her, she made rope out of grass that's in your backyard. Now, I was very grateful because I have nothing but weeds in my backyard, so that helped out a little area around the trampoline. I kept telling her, go ahead and pick that right over there. But she made rope. So they met virtually in the class, and then did that. And then the next week, but she tied it to either a book or tied it to a particular skill that people are learning and doing in industry. She had them make clay out of dirt. Now that was a little, I don't do all that, got to keep these hands, right for technology. And so she took that dirt and made something out of nothing. I thought that was pretty fun, pretty cool. Having those activities like that, kids can, really get into. So think about those. So what are some hands-on activities that somebody has maybe seen or thought about doing with your students? I kind of like what Heather was saying with the keepsake, something they can keep and take back and maybe hang on the refrigerator or, I don't know, put on their desk afterwards. What's something? I mean, and think about it, since stores are open.
Willie, last week Maya had brought by our house a little bag with a QR code where she had created her own video of like how to paint rocks, like with fingernail polish, and she left it for Marley. And I can't tell you how many rocks we have taken out of people's yards to now paint, but that's really cool. So that you could ask your kids to like create a video of something they enjoy doing, some like a craft or even cooking, and they could share it with the class, something like that, because that was really neat. I mean, Marley loved that, and it gave me a break.
Mm-hmm. That was another one of the Ruggieri things that she did when it came to, and she actually, and it was how talking about solvents, and Ruggieri tied it into science, and where you actually, where you dip the rock in the I don't know. It was a whole thing. But the crazy part, I mean, she was all into it, and we had to go to the construction sites down the street, pick up rocks and all kinds of stuff. And I think she gave out 14 bags, and but learned a lot of skills with like I said, creating the QR codes, making that stuff, made me come up to school and print that stuff out. And so, yeah, so definitely those types of skills and hands-on things that those are really fun. Your kids will get into it. So what else? I mean, y'all doing really good. This sounds really good.
So there's some things in the chat. So just in case everybody's not looking over there, like Mimi said that they're still voting on class awards online. And then James put the link to the Flappy Bird push-up thing. And then Piper said, make a TikTok dance video to share with the class. And then I think that's it. I might have missed something. If I missed somebody else jump in. A top 10 list of favorite things of the year is fun.
So speaking of TikTok, Piper, believe it or not, TikTok's not in my element. I called it Tic-Tac for the whole beginning of the year. My kids have begged me all year to do a TikTok, and I was like, no, I'm too old, whatever. And then like 2 weeks ago, we were in our live, and they're just getting unmotivated. So I was like, guys, what can I do? We're about to start this research project for 2.5 weeks. What can I do to get you motivated? And they're like, you can come to all of our houses and teach one-on-one. I'm like, ooh, can't do that, And they're like, well, you can do a TikTok. And I was like, okay. And I was like, no, they won't want that. They all were like, yeah. So I was like, okay. I've never had so much work turned in on time from every single kid for this 2 weeks than I have for this 2 weeks. So I recorded a TikTok yesterday, had to send it to Sarah to make sure it was okay. So they'll see it this week. But I'm telling you, like, get out of your element. I did. But I'm telling you, it was fun. And
yeah. I had a friend who, she does them like as attention getters, TikToks. And so she did like a whole dance video, and then she had her kids, she posted it in her classroom. She had her kids imitate the dance, not on TikTok, but just separately. So it was really cute. She was showing me some of the videos. But yeah, I don't know if I have the guts yet to record a dance video, but it's so much fun and the kids love it.
If you share it with us, James would like for you to share the link. Mimi, I can probably post it on a district social media.
I was sworn not to share it with anyone, and I have not shared it with anyone yet. But
Wait, is it in Schoology? I'm sure we can dig it up.
if you meet my price right, I might be able to make this work.
I heard the growth mindset of yet.
How many jeans passes is that?
Hey, we're
I have a whole bunch of wooden nickels. I mean, I can give you a whole bag full.
Oh, some of it was kind of stuff that's been said too. Like, we're gonna do I guess, like a live award ceremony. We're gonna try to attempt that. We're still kind of working out the logistics. What is going on, Clip?
May the fourth be with y'all.
Hello.
It's the Mandalorian.
That is hilarious.
I'm being taken away.
Actually, this is Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. Oh,
wait, where's Baby Yoda?
was he a Mandalorian?
I got everything. I got a lightsaber in there. I got Darth Vader helmet. What do you need?
Oh man, that's what I'm talking about.
That's hilarious.
He's ready for the teacher parade.
I'm ready for May the 4th be with you.
Sorry, Cassidy. Go ahead.
I don't have a costume to wear, but you know. Anyway, one thing I did last year that I thought was really neat is I got it from a teacher on TPT. It was like an Instagram collage, picture collage. And it's just basically, you know, like a bunch of pictures throughout the year that you put in this like Instagram type of template. And I printed it out and laminated it, and they loved it. It was like one of the best gifts that I've given before. And even parents were like, this is really awesome. So not something I'd probably want to keep words are hard. Okay. But something I would probably print out for a keepsake for them. Just because it'll be more sentimental that way. And then, yeah.
I'm loving all the keepsake ideas and all the movement ideas. Which, Cassie, I don't understand. You left out a couple. I know y'all are talking about TikTok queens in the house. I don't know if any of y'all. So what else? Any more? I like the class awards that you talked about. Recognizing the students. Is anybody else trying to do class awards, and if not, or if you are okay, I see some heads nodding. What are some of the ideas? What are some of the ways that y'all are going to go about doing that? Are y'all thinking about doing those class awards?
I just made a Google form. I've sent it out today for my kids to have the week to fill it out. And then I've planned on that last week, my live lesson, hopefully can present them during the live lesson to the kids and, you know, invite parents if they want to join in on that or if they can. And obviously I would record it as well so that way, if they miss it, they see it and then I'll send it out to them.
Yeah, if y'all need any assistance with any of this stuff, please reach out to us. Let us know. We can definitely help you out, especially trying to get that video together or anything like that for your class awards, or if you need some help making those awards. We have our master badge maker, James Hughes, in the house, who can definitely throw down when it comes to some graphics and some awards for some kids. So definitely utilize that. Who else? What else going on? And I'm gonna step away real quick.
For us, a lot of our kids in our pod have Chromebooks from the school. So I was thinking about doing, because of science, maybe a paper airplane contest where they have to. I'll do a Google Doc and they can upload their measurements and then do it like a contest. And for the ones that don't have the computer, their parents I have all their parents on Dojo. They can just message me on there and I can put it on the doc.
We usually do compliments at the end of the year, where in class, we pass around papers where everybody has a paper and they all write to each other, and we laminate them and send them home. And I had created a Google Slides version of that, where every kid will get a copy of the slides with a slide for each student, and they just fill in a compliment for each student. And then I'll compile them for each student and make them their own. And I thought about printing it out and mailing it. My only concern about it is just the students' motivation right now is waning. So hearing Heather's idea of a trait, I think I might be more likely to get more participation if they're choosing a trait rather than writing a compliment to each student like we would in the classroom. I really love that activity that we do every year, and they end up loving it. I just don't know that I would get very much participation right now. So I think a trait might be a way to modify that. Heather, did you just do that with the Google form? Okay. You're on mute.
Yes, I was just looking I have a list of all the traits. I just put it in a Google form, but I can send you, I'm looking for it in my Google. I'll send you the list of all the character traits that I gave. I mean, they could use others, but I figured this would keep them from using the same one for everyone. So
yeah. And if you do something in a Google form, just to share, that's something that I use, because I do lots of Google forms for voting, and you guys, when you do Teacher of the Month and all that kind of stuff, and the shout outs and everything. And so I have an add-on. So whenever I make it go to a sheet, then I use an add-on called Sheet to Doc. And so it's just an add-on. And then what you can do over on the side is whether you want the heading or you don't want the heading, and it'll automatically, you can page break each row as well. And so then it automatically takes all of the voting from the sheet and puts it on its separate doc in there. And then that makes it easier for me to share with staff, because then I can save it and download it as a PDF and extract each page or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So that it's just divided up easier that way. But it's an easy add-on just to share in case you want that.
Well, I think most of our parents are so done, as I'm looking at some of you sitting here. But I was thinking if we could do things like build a fort and read a book, go in a closet with a flashlight and read a book. Because most of our parents will be turning in most of the technology starting on that Monday. So we've got to have some real low tech, find something to do, call your grandparent and read a book to them, or, something like that. I don't know.
I love that, Diana. And I also was wondering about how we could challenge them to read or practice math facts or something for the summer. And so even like make a goal chart of 1 day a week or whatever, trying to read with one of those fun ways or whatever. I don't know. I love that.
Well, and I've already sent out to my parents, the libraries are having their signups right now. I very much encourage everybody, because these kids are going to need to read all summer long.
I was kind of thinking along the same lines of you, Diana, when I was trying to think of like, what could our littles do or what could they do? And I was thinking of taking a picture. If you had almost like a scavenger hunt, so to speak, where it was like, go read a book in a closet or under a tree, or they could take a picture of themselves and then send it to you. And then you could put it even in an Adobe Spark that had like Mrs. Newton's kids, and they were all reading in different spots. Would be kind of cute.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Or even, do your math facts or whatever, trying to bring in some science. Take a picture by a tree, take a picture by a flower, name the parts of the flower,
Yeah, kind of a scavenger hunt kind of thing, and then put it together somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
And if you want to try to get them to submit pictures, but not a requirement, and you don't want to have to put anything together, they can always submit pictures on the RSD Instructional Resources page to that Google photo thing. And then I'll do a video at the end of the year of everybody too. So if you don't want to mess with it individually, but you want to try to encourage them to share different things like that, you could encourage them, you know, we could share that, you could get that link from there and share it too, just as an idea, because I'll throw a video together of that.
Diane, one thing I was thinking about as you were talking, if we had them to do some sort of a goal sheet and they kept up with it one way or the other through pictures, through, you know, something they created, they could bring it by us and offer them, you know, a little trinket, piece of candy.
Yeah, I was thinking of some way to do a prize or something. You know me, I like to give out books. It's like I could do that, but I don't know, something, some reward.
So I know in the spirit of a lot of things I keep seeing too on Twitter with Shelly and her journal and the journaling that people are doing and talking about doing virtually. So some of your kids are just thinking about, like you're saying, with the when it comes to writing or reading with your students or with your grandparents or parents, stuff like that. But if we go into like the writing part, the journaling part, so students being able to maybe write a letter to their future self, not even just the writing part with the hands, for those who don't, you know, want to write, but those who, you know, who need the help writing, definitely encourage that. But also, of course, with Flipgrid, as mentioned on a party around, I think the Flipgrid training that we did, where kind of did I try to do a journal every day where it's a private Flipgrid journal that I have that nobody else can get to, where I just pull it up every night, 8 o'clock, and just talk to my phone and talk about the day and things that I've done. So there's definitely a lot of different ways that students can journal to themselves for their future selves, because this is a pretty interesting time in their life. And for them to be able to look back and see that would be something pretty fun too as well. So there, you know, you bring in those letter writing skills, you bring in those communication skills, all that. And then of course, you know, the presentation skills too, if you do the video part into that class.
I saw Susan on here, and so I didn't know if she had other ideas, but even just drawing a picture of your favorite thing that you learned during the year or anything like that would work for pre-K. I mean, I'm sure you have some other ideas, Susan, too, but even, I mean, drawing all the way up definitely works, but for sure.
We've actually started sending messages out to our parents to take a picture of just their kids during the COVID-19 shelter in place. And we're going to try to do a video instead of doing like the end of the year video that we would normally do. We're going to try to do a shelter in place type COVID-19 video of their homeschool learning. We've had a lot of parents send pictures like through our Blooms app, because that's really kind of how they've communicated that they have completed assignments. And but the only problem is I have some that won't participate in it. But anyway, that's kind of what we're looking at right now. I've had a lot of questions about pre-K graduation. So I'm still trying to figure out a way to help them feel like they're celebrated, because it's not the kids. They don't really care that much, I don't think, but I think it's really important to the parents. So I'm still trying to figure out a way to, I don't know, celebrate them in a special way. So that we're still trying to figure that out, but I have a few ideas, but I don't know yet.
Hey, I saw on Twitter last night that somebody was doing a powwow with the principal, and I thought that was a cute idea too for end of the year, having end of the year powwow with the principal. I don't know what that would look like, but anyway.
If it looks anything like all the Google Meets when all the kids are getting on, it will be like, especially all the 5-year-olds. Then their feet are up in the air, then their feet are down, and then they're.
It's just a dance party. They're playing Dead Bug.
And then they always have the screen, and they're like this, holding the screen.
It's the virtual Disneyland ride, and you didn't even know it, huh? you guys have shared lots of ideas. Any kind of technical questions of how are you doing that, or where can I find that from what somebody shared that maybe they can share a little bit more about?
I do want to test this part out. I mentioned probably about a week ago, because I know some people doing like end of the year parties, things like that, wanting to be able to share and play different types of music and stuff through their Meet. There was a technical way to get through it with on your laptop with the whole sound settings and stuff, but I talked about how Google was working on a solution, and I think they have it. So we're going to try this together right now. So where it says present now on the screen, when you hit that present now, everybody go ahead and hit that present now. You see where it says a Chrome tab. Okay, so if you present I like, and it tells you best for video and animation. So when you hit that Chrome tab now, I'm gonna go ahead and share one of my tabs that I have open, and I'm gonna click on this YouTube video here, and you can't see it right now, but it says share audio, and it's checked. There's a check box there. So when I hit share, so now you should be able to see my YouTube video link. Now, y'all tell me if you can hear. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so you're going to go to your Adobe Sparks video app, which looks like this.
Okay, so that is pretty cool. So finally, thank God, at the end of the year in May, they fixed it. And so, so everything I told you earlier, forget about it. That's why I didn't ever make that video, because I saw it was coming out and it was like a slow rollout, but it's really simple. All you do is, like I said, hit that present now and then present a tab, and that is it. I was so excited when I saw that show up this morning. So good deal. So if you want to have your end of year parties, end of year celebrations, and you want to play some graduate, just go ahead and open up a YouTube video and play away or have music playing. So that's, yeah, cool.
Willie, does it bother your board tab when you have it open at all? I know it's just another tab open.
Say that one more. My board tab. What do you mean?
When you open up your entry, when you come on and you have your instructions on there, please mute your mic, sign in the chat, the board there. Does it bother it being displayed?
That's a good question, because I'm displaying a window versus displaying a tab.
Right.
So what some people were doing, like I know I watched my wife's virtual lessons she was doing, she would have the video embedded in her Google slide, right? But the problem was it wasn't playing the audio coming from that video in that Google slide, her timer, anything like that. So now if you present that tab that has a Google slide in it, it should play that video and the audio that's coming off that Google slide as well. So that's a good question, Leslie. I'm glad you brought that up.
So they would want to embed their music or whatever in their Google slide where they're projecting, and then they could just hit that icon to make it the music play. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Oh man, I swear. May, what's the day? The 4th. Come on. But hey, it's here. We're gonna be grateful because together we can, together we will, and so we did it. All right. So what else? What other technical questions? I know that was a good question there, Glenn, about what are some things y'all are wanting to do and like, man, how can I pull this off?
I want to know how you did that opening screen. Where are you making that?
What are you talking about? The
with your Bitmoji people.
Oh, with the Bitmoji people. So what I will do, instead of going all the way through it, what time is it? 9:16. I will share with you the Wakelet that has all that information on it. But I got all of this off of Twitter. Let's see here. Let me bring up my thing here. Oh, there it is right there. And curriculum.
Willie, can I ask a question while you're clicking?
Yes.
Does everybody know how to get back to a chat line to pull up some of the websites if they don't open them right now. He's thinking.
Okay, so in the chat, I posted the Wakelet that got me this. So what you saw, so let me go back here. I'll present this real quick. Come on. And go to my window. So this, I created all this in a Google slide. Okay, so this is a Google slide here that has all the different pieces and stuff. These are the when I made the curriculum logo or Bitmoji, these are all the Bitmojis that the curriculum team shared with me. And so kind of limited on the different poses and stuff. But if you create your own, I mean, there are thousands and thousands of Bitmoji. I say maybe hundreds of Bitmoji stances and stuff like that you can have them do. So yeah, every last one of these little things, like this is a picture frame, this is a video, because you can embed videos right in Google Slides. This is the book that we're reading this summer, and it hyperlinks to Jimmy Acosta's Twitter. So all of these are different elements that I went and found the background. So I'll be real quick short on this one. You start with your background when you go to insert image, and then you hit search the web. So you're searching for a lot of transparent stuff. But the very first thing that you're looking for is so like here's my coffee mugs and stuff like that. And I just took the little logo and I put it on a coffee mug, which by the way, I do want to get those collect, by the way. And so when you click on that, you search for all those transparent things. So like there's a transparent desk or table. So I said transparent table or table transparent. So there's tons of tables in there. You'll see a lot of the classrooms on Twitter have couches. So if you want to put a couch in there, if you want to put gym equipment, things like that. So we could do basketball rack or something like that. Or transparent ball, basketball, or hoop, or something like that, and bookshelves, things like that. And then you just click it and drag it or double click it, and it'll insert it into your space. To get my background, I clicked on background, choose image, and then I typed in wall and floor background. And that's literally came up with all these different wall and floor backgrounds. I felt like there wasn't a lot here. So I ended up going and opened up a new tab and going to Google image search and did it that way. And it pulled up a whole mess of wall in the background. Now, as you can see, this is not very, it needs a woman's touch, just to be honest with you. It's very manly, a lot of sharp edges there and some colors and dark wood. My wife was like, oh my gosh, what were you thinking? So anyway, this is a concept that we will be working on and kind of putting together. And so I'm really excited about that. There's so much that you can do with this. My favorite part about this, I'm just going to say this, is, I was looking for, everybody kept putting these rugs in their site or in their virtual classroom. I was like, man, I want to do a rug, a Rocket Never Quit rug. Check that sucker out. So I made this logo in Adobe Spark, but all I did, so it was a rectangle, right? I applied a mask to it. So when you go to crop something, and instead of just cropping the image and you click that little rectangle drop down, you can do a mask of any shape. So if I say I want that to be a triangle, it makes it into a triangle. Or if I want that to be, of course, the shape of a rug in my little oval, I can make that the shape of a circle. So it looks like a rug right there now. And then everything also, and you'll see in her video as well, but it's all about the order too as well. James talks about this in his video as well. But when you right click on something and you go to your order, So this is how you can put things in front and put things in back. So you got to make sure to do the order. That's why it looks like people are standing behind stuff or sitting on top of things like that. So that's all it is. And then these videos, this is a TV that I found, a transparent TV, and I inserted a YouTube video and I just stretched it to fill the TV. So now when you click it, the video actually plays in the TV. So it's a pretty neat little thing right there. So there's your virtual training room going on. So like I said, you can do all kinds of things with this. So pretty fun. I like even thinking about like your virtual rewards. Say maybe you had a virtual graduation and reward ceremony. You could have that. Your student picture come up on the thing. I don't know. I'm telling you. Me and my wife had just too much fun with that over the last couple of days. So yeah, so that was real quick. And the thing I know in her thing, I think she talked about sharing out as a PDF. You can share things out as a PDF. When you do this, if you go to File and then you download as, you can download as a PDF. All your links still work, like all my links. So every time you click on one of our faces here, I don't know why I keep doing. Let me share this out with y'all here in a second. But every time you click on the face, it takes you to one of our Twitter handles. Okay, it takes you to our Twitter page as well. But in this link that you saw here, see, this allows it to all work inside of this. So all I did was publish this, just like I did with every other thing. So when I publish it, it's actually live and it works on the web. When you just download it as a PDF, when you click on it, it'll actually take you to YouTube. So the things don't just work off in there, if that makes sense. Okay, I know that was a lot that I just said, but publish to the web is what you get. And like I said, when you hit that publish button, it'll be down here. You copy this link and you put it in the new tab. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this sucker into the chat there. And the reason why I like, and me personally, why I like the publish is because any changes that I make to this will automatically show up here when I refresh the screen. So that's why I like publishing it to the web. So when we upload a new video or we change out the sayings or whatever it is that we do, the book that's there or the whatever it is, the people, the poses, it'll automatically update. So that way whoever has that link will see it. Okay? All right. Any questions over that? Like I said, I'll put that whole link inside of the chat function, the Wakelet. And then, of course, now you have a link to our virtual RC Professional Learning Center.
So I know you mentioned James being an ultimate badge person, and Mimi was talking about kids earning awards, on a thing like that. And so for those of you that are Schoology, kids can earn badges in Schoology. And I know Chad Adkins, and I'm sure others have been doing it, but I thought it's super cool. I know James would love to help you with that. So even if you wanted to do that next year, when we're in school, kids can earn badges like that in Schoology for different things, and you can make them. And then April Ruggieri created some badges on Google Slides for kids that she's sending them to them right now as well. So she's been putting them, I think, on Google Slides, and then is going to send them through Schoology maybe to them. Is that right, Willie?
Yes. Yes. And so it shows up, and James can answer this better, but it shows up on their profile, right, James, on the top right corner?
Sorry, having a few device issues over here. Yes, so when they click on their profile in the upper right and they look at just kind of all their different information, it will be right in the upper right-hand corner. It will also send them a message, I believe, whenever they've been awarded a badge. And so it helps the teacher keep you have just a huge spreadsheet of all of your badges and all of your kids in a certain class, and it'll leave a check mark for each one that you assign to. So once you upload the badge, it's as simply as going in there and just hitting the checks to award it, and that's it. You're done. So it's pretty simple. Diane, the deal with Google Classroom, this, I think next year it's going to be a lot easier. It could be a deal of sending out a document of some kind, whether it be a slide or a sheet or a Google Doc, whatever, where the students have a running doc of everything that's related to them. And so, and that's, I think right now where we are, that's kind of hard to do. But having them in person would be a lot easier, to where you can have that one set location where they would have it.
And I think that's what in the chat, I forgot about that. Chloe Sutherland created it after your session too. And so I think created like a board, and they were grayed out, but then you could drop the colored ones in there and it's all in one doc. Is that what you're talking about, James? Something like that?
Yeah, pretty much. And so it's a matter of what you're going to put in there is like what can be shared with everybody, and then what can't be shared with everybody. So if you're going to do just generic awards that it doesn't matter, you can just send out one doc and everybody has it. And so it's visibly seen.
And so if that's something that, you know, a lot of you, I mean, there's a lot of people on this one that are interested in, we can make that as a recorded session and a live session. And then that way you could even create what you want, thinking of next year during the upcoming virtual integration summit in June as well. And then that way that would give you some time to create and think through what you'd want to do next year, maybe.
And real quick, I'm going to give one plug for Diane. I don't, just creative wise, she sent me a couple of badges she's made, and hers are blow mine away. They look really, really good. And I bet her kids are excited for those.
All right.
I've asked a couple parents. I haven't heard from any kids about them. I don't even know if they can even see them once they get down on the stream, because then you have to go look for them. That's what I'm saying. I wish there were a way that they could click on something and there all their badges they had earned were there. But I did do the little question mark thing where you can ask Google. And so to ask them to please, you know, look at Schoology if you need some help in figuring out how to do this.
Well, I bet they love that.
You know, the older kids, I mean, I don't know how much, I guess it's motivating for them. I think for little kids, it'd be extremely motivating, you know, but I've also seen on several of the Facebook groups that I belong to, there are an awful lot of younger teachers of younger kids that are asking for Google to please make some changes to help the smaller kids, you know, make this more usable for them. So maybe next year, but hopefully we will never have to do this again.
As a first grade parent and a kid who saw it, I mean, he, during the day, he may not show much excitement, but he did get a big smile on his face and goes, "That's cool." And that, you know, that was good at that time. So
good to hear. I was thinking, you know, I don't know if you could print them off as a parent and put them up there, you know, I don't know. I didn't know to make that suggestion. I've got so many parents that don't have printers or whatever, but anyway, for the future, I just thought it was cool because as a kid, I would have loved to have earned those badges. That would have been very motivating for me. So
he did like them.
Any last or parting words or things or questions that anybody may have before we get off of our one of our last virtual trainings for the week? All right. So tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon, 8:30 and 3:30, we'll be having our YouTube channel virtual PD. So you have all these videos that you've created and recorded and done things for your students and stuff like that, your TikToks that are out there, and you just want everybody to be able to see them or maybe even use them for next year, put them in a playlist, be able to link them to different things. Tomorrow is what that's going to be about. You're going to introduce you to your YouTube channel that you have associated with Robinson ISD. So, all right. So we want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming out this morning and sharing with us. Hopefully we have helped in some way. We hope that you continue to grow and learn. And as you start doing things and working with your students for this end of the year, last week sessions coming up, please reach out to us in any way, fashion that we can help you. We will do that for you. Okay. So once again, you have the link to this, to our professional learning center right here now. Once again, if you see some changes happening, that's because we are tweaking and of course, always under construction with this. So definitely click on those videos for Adobe Spark that session for last week, and then the video as well, creating your slideshows from last week as well, and then for your live session with the Jamboard. Thank y'all very much and have a great day.